welcome back. It's been... Sorry about that. It's been a while since last time I recorded this. And I almost didn't even record today because I am tired. I did not have a good night. As you can see when the time comes up, I didn't get up until the afternoon. Here we go. What ho, chums? Been giving something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. I just have to check the recording real quick. Sounds like rather a tall order. Since you asked where to secure the Elven Rim for survivors, scour... wander around ice fields on the off chance you find someone. It would take forever to finish the job without the benefit of my expertise, or more specifically my telescope. Come friends, I know just the spot to begin our search. I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humor him. I was kind of hoping that the tires would leave marks in the snow. Yeah, I won't be doing the stuff for flight. I might still pick up the ether things if I go buy them. I spy with my little telescope a massive sheep thing, or maybe it's a cow. Not what we're after either. Is that an ether current? Oh no, just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, snow, snow. But lo, what do I see over yon hillock? Snow. There's no mistaking it. That's a girl. A survivor, show me. Over there behind that tree, it looks like she's running away from something. Surely not us. She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is that she's wearing a pale green dress, a rather fetching one at that. She'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should be able to follow her footprints. I'll let Lucia know where you're heading. And take these warming tinctures with you. Pearl girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. It's actually very thoughtful, thank you. But won't you need some for yourself? No, I'll be fine. A man of chivalry, my honor demands I do no less. And let we forget the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Now go, and Godspeed. We're going to space? Emilian, where's your ship? Or are you going to throw us up into the sky? If only he had that arm strength. Then again, he could have, for all we know. All we ever see him do is dance and hide. And get punched. Trail fresh leads east. That's a very explosive sprite. We're getting closer, I'm sure of it. At first, we thought she'd go inside the building, but the door doesn't look to have been opened in some time. She might still be nearby, so we'll keep looking around here. Then again, it's also possible that he ran past this place Would you mind searching up ahead? I hate those. What you can see in the background. I don't even remember what they're called, but I hate them. We see you. The girl in the green dress anxiously surveys her surroundings. Were you to call out to her from this distance, it might attract wild beasts to your location. It would be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. You know, you probably would have done better if you chose something that was, You know, it would have been better if you had chosen a white, blue, or black dress. Oh, he will see his foos. Oh, she will see his foos. This lone chocobo. That's all the way in Garlemald. Have we actually seen Imperials use chocobos at all? We're probably gonna be here a while. I think I accidentally did this the first time I did this, as in, I think I got to the end point, but I went to the end point before she even noticed. I wonder if rogue stealth works with this, like the hide mechanic. She probably still see Boose's head. Oh, I don't like to look at that. Is there a train going on nearby? When all else fails, she just ran through a battlefield. Still in one piece. You sure about that? You did run immediately through a battle. Who are you? Stay back. The house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. Takes another step. Please, we just want to talk. I'm Alphino. This is my sister Alize and our good friend Edgar. We have no intention of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. Give you my word. We and our comrades have come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid, you savages are the ones responsible for all this. You did this to us. We didn't, I promise you. One of our reasons we came here was to find out what happened here, in fact. Levelin are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they destroy the entire world. They're the enemy, our enemy. On our way, we encountered Imperial soldiers who made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we are striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we met who wasn't already enslaved. How were you able to escape Levelroy's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I don't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with introductions. Can you tell me your name? My name, Licinia. As for how I've managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same questions. Ever since that night and the roar, that terrible roar, and then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought that maybe the fighting had stopped, so I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran past friends, people I'd known all my life. eyes vacant, dead, staring into the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled as far as my legs would take me. Do you have family here? Is this their home? No, this is Victor Spoils, a mansion for retired soldiers. Or it was, but now me and a few others are borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. I just wanted to keep everyone else safe. I don't know if you were. The truth is, our supplies are running low. You said you were here to help, can you? Of course. Whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I better tell the others first, though. Wait here. This is everyone. Says you can be trusted, but these are desperate times. We'd be fools to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to provide us with means of heating the place as a good sign will, perhaps we could take you at your word. If that is too much to ask, then leave us be. Time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark with a little magic, Alize? We have a fire burning in no time. May we build it under that gazebo. The what? Oh, you mean the bower? Yes, yes, do as you will. Time to cut down the tree with my scythe. Edgar, get me my scythe. The fuck's that metal noise? It sounds like metal scraping. Pants! Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, there is far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they are not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? Amputate! Discombobulate! Stun grenade! Ramna's tears! I can treat their frostbite in their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Emilian's tinctures, the ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. Being gifted from the notorious, unreliable Emilian. It is highly doubtful the concoction will have the intended effect, if only they were willing, and more importantly, unwitting volunteers on whom to test it. Warming tinctures, I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offers no more than meager protection from wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magic tech that sustained us has to a grinding halt. What mechana that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, Cerulia Ignis is full of this stuff, and all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. All's well, yes, never better. I'm just standing in fire! Why, Edgar's just standing on the edge of it. What sweet liberation is this? Is it poisoned by any chance? Just a joke, a joke. If I laugh, just that I may not weep. So said the poet. And alas, my tears would freeze on my cheeks. Here they fell. We are the blessed damned, to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, with our brethren lie dead or live on as puppets of flesh. First comes the war, then comes the roar. When morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams, was our beloved capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the disheveled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash, as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, and offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeless new few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I know better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait for my comrades for our final judgment. What do you want? A tincture, may as well drink it, I suppose. It's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it. We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular, made with certain components crafted with the finest ore, scoured from Locus Amonis. It is not all that useful since the capital fell in ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Amonis. We may have founded an empire in these frozen wastes, but we will always hope to take back what was once ours. Just a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radio. It was a cunning strategy, faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, and that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. Another thing that we never actually saw Emperor Varus fight before. We only seen Xenos and I don't know if we saw a Mixelk fight in as Solus though. What's that? So this is what you gave the others. Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, a few things to ask you. As you part of the group staying in late room, I saw Legatus Virgilia's troop heading towards the Magna Glaciers a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Virgilia and her men are all there now. So how did you reach the Magna Glacius? Did you cross the mountain on foot? Airship? Then there might be a way to. Where is everyone? Is something the matter? A voice from inside, you say. You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby almost has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Well, the soldiers scare them off. Wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people too. I just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you are a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you can head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there, people whose jobs was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange, lots of food, and that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. Oh yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However, you decide to head there, please be careful. Never. I was thinking of something, but I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say, it's not that hard to find. It's just right over there. Yeah, I've been working on the Monsterpedia and Dark Prince, and after I get that done, I don't even know if I'm going to even bother trying to get the rest of the mini medals. Because I think I'm only missing 10. And then I'll have everything done in Dark Prince. Oh, except for two tutorials. I'm missing, I think, one for defeat and one for online play. Who goes there? How did you find us? You're the only cave within 5 miles! What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor Spoils haven't given away our location, you never have found us. Those stuck-up arseholes thought they could come waltzing in here, demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Ha! Looks like the boot's on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. So they resort to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, sellsword. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. Sellsword, you say? You're talking to a man that is wielded a scythe with a plant and a chocobo. Though he is wearing armor, he is still wielding a scythe. A gardening implement. Well, harvesting implement, technically. There you are. Just after you left, Lieutenant asked me to go and catch up with you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. Who are you? What happened to the guards? You were 5 feet away. You couldn't hear what was happening. Elysians and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess, none of you are Garlean, and you were brought here from other lands. Garabania, Yangtze, Bosnia, Dalmasca, to name but a few, some dragged here against our wills, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of On, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy remains nothing, and the new Garlemald says we. About the only thing that escapes more or less unscathed is Srila Ingness, still sustaining us even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drying up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days. What with the city in ruins, we take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we got ceruleum by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we manage to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald, as we know, is gone for good. Gone for good. Can Edgar have pants now? Regardless of what the Elzebur contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life would have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it's consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. But pants. Yep, and that will put it. Yeah, we've been using level 80 gear this time. Yep, now we have 525. Portrait. Let's see, what do you got? So you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? What those purebloods up at Vosbarl sent you to turn their enemies to help. They must have be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Lysia's got her little sister to think about. A sister, but we only saw Lucina and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt they'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused to see her first, thinking she'd come back with something in exchange, but I spared them a bottle's worth of. But I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. As a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent, be sure to send them our way. You hear? I can't for the life of me think why Lucina would keep her sister a secret from us. But we can ask about that after we deliver that ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. Just need to stay awake. Stay awake. Until I can get... This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They couldn't have gone far. Find out that a Yeti's frozen them all over. They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Cut me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. Can't fool us, we know what you're about. Vultures, that's what you are, waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, then in you swoop. Here to help, what rot, all employed to make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, put us in chains, steal our lands, and get your revenge. Motherfucker, why do we want to live here? This place is awful. You're wrong, that's not what any of us wants. Save the argument for later, we've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true, Lucina was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and your people, and if you think I'll tell you you're a fool, I'll never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiots. Her sister's ill, the empty bottles prove it, so the medicine ran out and she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. Or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, and than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. Edgar, don't use that magic currently. He's using a void scent. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Lucina and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries, then theirs. I will join you in the search after. Alright, be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Well, find some ice sculptures. 2 perfectly preserved ones. One of a dove and one of a doe. 2 sets of fresh footprints, young women, judging by their size. This is definitely them. Come on. Whee! The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as not to leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place, it's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphino's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Goose, you know what you must do. Throw, Edgar. Half-buried piece of paper. Huh. Paper buried in the snow appears to be a flyer for a theater group. Though the run of snow and shows advice has long since ended. Just slay one of these things and just open up its belly. Found him! Or they're underneath the snow. Fresh blood. Let's give it a taste test. Blood staining the snow appears to be fresh, judging by the amount the victim may have been severely wounded. Leads southeastwards. Yeah, a bit of a fun fact. When I did this my first time, there was, I think it was a B rank or an A rank that spawned over here. It was like a giant metal gorilla that spawns somewhere around here. Ah, they fled with the radio. Wait, the radio's not working. Two bodies are already cold. I guess we can see if we can use the scythe as a shovel. Huh. At least something lived. Well, kind of. We have exactly one survivor.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. No. Why wouldn't they? Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have...
Not complete loss. We got a radio.
We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
I'm not going into the city.
What if we're only making it worse?
Edgar definitely ain't going in that city right now.
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold.
Yep, somebody killed the radio.
I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
There must have been something we could have done, but what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we weren't? No, they would have been eaten. Shoes! We've already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. For those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. Time to fast travel across the snow. Oh, they're inside the building. I thought they were going to be on the outside. Alize and Alphino tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly, they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account?
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Zenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varus spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans?
Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Nobanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Cabbage. You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourself accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else, remember this. Hagrid in particular will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Why can't he be the one who goes with the 2 of them? Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, you will judge in act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Alright, this is far enough. Listen closely. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Leminal Station 4. Children in the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alize and he's Alphino, and the last but not least, there's Edgar. Edgar, where have I heard that name before? No matter, Alphino and Alize will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter, run towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you depart, Julius will accompany you. Alphino and Alize will then begin moving towards the destination. Yeah. Ready to make a dash for the station. This place sucks. They have explosive sprites here. You can't even use fire magic here. Probably you'll end up blowing everything up. You know I'm not a versicled. Doesn't mean I have to like it here. As I do have to have my room cold for me to sleep. I gotta have an engine going, and I gotta have my my room cold for me to sleep. Well, I don't need to be cold, but my room just has to be. This is it, the first time I used. Okay, looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. North of the station is Riccio Demorium, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They tear us to shreds if they given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off, understand? But shoes. Where did the shoes go? That's gonna be it for this episode. And the next.